City of Brainerd City Council Safety and Public Works Committee. All three of us are here, as well as Engineer Sandy and Sean Strong. Administering the meeting, we have 3 agenda items posted. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add?
No, Mr. Chair.
None, we will move forward with the 3 we have. Item number 1 is improvement 2101, the 2020 seal coat bids. Mr. Engineer, anything you wish to add to what's in our packet?
Yes, thank you. Agenda request kind of states we solicited bids for our annual seal coating. We received 3 bids. Aztec Asphalt Preservation Company and Allied Black submitted bids. You can see that Aztec was the low bidder in the amount of $140,7612. The engineer's estimate was right around $170,000. You'll recall that we moved forward with just bidding everything out, hoping they would come in under budget. And that is what happened. We came in at our $150,000 number, so we can do all the streets that are in the plans. They're all listed. Any questions? I can answer them now.
Dan?
Used this company before.
Yeah, they had our job last year. The 2 that have had our most recent work are Aztec and Asphalt Preservation Company. You can see they're pretty close in numbers, so they're both very, very good to work with.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Hearing none, is there a move to approve the engineer's staff's recommendation accepting the bids as presented, awarding the contract to Asphalt Surface Technologies in a total bid amount of $147,576.12, and further to authorize the mayor and city administrator to enter into agreement with Aztec as such?
Motion to accept the bid.
Motion W. Erickson, is there a second?
Lambert, second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Engineer, would you call the roll?
Lambert?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Beck?
Yes, that motion is approved. We will forward that on to the council. Next up is improvements 16-09, 19-07, Buffalo Hills Lane and Mississippi Drive reconstruction project. Mr. Engineer, you've got a couple of change orders, or at least one.
Yes, thank you, Mr. We've already approved 1 and 2 early, around January or February, where we came to an agreement on pricing for some other work on the project. This change order 3 has to deal with mulch that was used. A lot of instances, our standard hydro mulch is not strong enough to stabilize steep slopes. For example, we had a steep slope on some outfall corrections that we did from the storm pond into the river, and with that we elected to use a stronger hydraulic reinforced matrix mulch. This was a week ago. We had a very, very heavy rainfall, about 2.5 inches in about a half an hour in that area. And stabilization held up very, very well. We had a few minor washouts, could have been a lot worse. We did stabilize the storm pond with this material, along with the outfall correction that we did. Staff authorized this work back when we were doing the final because of the steeper slopes. You can see to doing that stabilization, we had to do some grading correction because it was already washing out from previous rains. Thus the reason why we did go to the RFM material. We came to an agreement on price for the material of $1.50 a square yard, and the slope grading correction of $3,250. which brings the change order amount to around $10,022.50. So staff is recommending that change order and contingent to PNF approving the pay application on their agenda.
Perfect. Any further questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve staff's recommendation and authorize change order number 3 for $10,022.50?
Lambert, so moved. Lambert, can you hear me?
I hear you, Jan. I think Wayne might be muted, but
I'll second that motion.
I saw you trying, Wayne. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Oh, no.
Roll call. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Sandy, would you call the roll?
Bert,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Bevins,
Yes, that motion is approved. We will forward that on to the full council. And next up is our last item, which is improvement 19-01, the Northwest 4th Street Cooperative Construction Agreement. Mr. Engineer, anything you wish to add to this?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So if the committee may recall, improvement 1901, we were awarded some local road improvement program funds in the amount of $800,000 to construct a roundabout at Jackson Street and a center median along the corridor from Washington Street to Jackson Street. We are doing some lane reconfigurations and adding an additional left turn lane at that location, which would be a southbound left turn. With that, MnDOT would like to also do some upgrades to their signal. So what this agreement really does, solution, is allows staff to enter into this agreement in which MnDOT would be reimbursing the city for a portion of the signal adjustments that need to happen, along with providing the signal cabinet and other things. MnDOT will be providing that at their cost. The city has some costs for a signal arm for that for that additional left turn lane that MnDOT is willing to pitch in some money for. Last time I talked to them, it was the amount of about $10,000. So MnDOT's willing to pay some of that signal upgrade that the city was responsible for first. That happened just through negotiations with their traffic. We were able to get them to agree to pay for some of that signal work. So this resolution just allows us to enter into that agreement so that the city can get reimbursed from MnDOT.
Any questions of the engineer?
Mr. Chair, Lambert.
Yep.
So it'll look very similar to what we have now with the 2 lanes, 2 left hand, one goes straight, 2 go left, basically what you're saying.
So, yeah, if I may, Mr. Chair, there are 3 lanes southbound now. There will be 2 dedicated left turns and a through right. So right now there is a dedicated left and there is a left through right lane. And that lane gets caught up sometimes with the take right-hand turns. And so that will clear that up and provide for more stacking room to clear the James Street intersection and to help that area out.
Good.
There'll be one additional lane.
Good, okay.
Any further discussions? Hearing none. Well, Mr. Engineer, do we have any idea what our portion of that signal light arm extension will be?
I think total amount was about 40,000, and they're reimbursing us for 10 of that.
Okay, so we're going to spend 30.
Yep, and then MnDOT is also providing a new cabinet and some loop detectors, I think, to replace. So,
okay, we kind of have to do it anyway. So, all right, I have another question, but it's not about this. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the recommendation to send the resolution to the full council for approval?
You're
I
muted.
think Wayne's got it again.
I'll make a motion.
Yep.
I'll make a
Jan,
motion.
second.
Lambert, second.
Mr. Engineer, would you call the roll?
Lambert,
Yes.
Erickson,
Yes.
Bevins.
Yes. Before we adjourn, Mr. Engineer, when can we get a report from, and maybe this is from Jan Lampert, we can get a report on things from planning and zoning and how they went with the Ace Hardware people on the mini storage negotiations and back. I understand they did not go well, but we haven't gotten an update yet.
See, and I don't know anything either, Mr. Chair.
Well, my understanding is planning and zoning chose not to act on anything.
Oh, are you talking about the meeting we had a few months ago?
I'm apologetic, Jan, I don't know where it is, when it was. I just recall that the council directed planning and zoning to try and work something out.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've heard that we have not, but I also heard that the TJ Lake people were not interested in anything on the corner piece of property unless we'd authorized the mini storage.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
if I may, Jan.
Go ahead, Mr. Yes,
That
go
is
ahead.
where it left off. However, when COVID came, we planning commission meetings. I don't, honest, Kelly. We
Yeah.
never had.
Yeah, we haven't had. Yeah, we haven't had our meeting for, I think, at least we're having a workshop this week, but we didn't have one last week, and the one prior to the, yes, I know TJ was looking at, wanted to talk to the city, and I don't know if that's happened, like Paul said.
But we have moved forward, Mr. Sandy, with eminent domain on that property.
Yep, this spoke. Forward.
It's kind of funny or tragic how this all is working out. So we'll see how that.
I find, Kelly, is it okay if we can just keep speaking here?
It's related to this topic, I believe.
Yeah, I had learned that other cities will put storage units in vacant lots, like vacant land like that, as a holder. And once they get the economy gets where they want to, if they want to put a apartment complex or something, then they'll tear that down and make apartments. Meanwhile, the city is getting tax revenue, even if it's not much, it's still getting tax revenue off that. So I don't know if we're going to be able to revisit it, but it makes a lot of sense. So.
Well, I imagine we're going to revisit it pretty soon when the attorneys do get involved. If we're doing it.
I'll follow up with Jansky and see if that was ever on. I don't believe it was on the agenda.
All right. If we can
is the case,
follow
we'll
up on that in the near future, I know it's a 2021 project, but often these type of things are what delay projects or can goof them up or can at the very least create hard feelings. It's time to roll. We got to get over to the next meeting. If there's nothing else, we're going to adjourn. Okay?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Wayne. Second, Lampert.
Okay, I got to get out of here, right?